Peterson here. And what I do is I help great service providers, world-class service providers, make more money and feel better about making that money, right? Doing it in a way that doesn't violate their unique disposition. And here's something that I kind of learned. Recently, it was brought up to me this way, and it just kind of stuck, and that's value, adding value. Okay, and if you're a great service provider, which means you're a high-end service provider, not a commodity, but you deliver a service in a way that your expertise is valued, and it should be valued, right? And so here's what we do. We look at our business and we just start adding stuff, thinking, well, this is a value add, and this is a value add, and this is a value add. And if I could do this, it's a value. We end up with this super like convoluted, complex business, right? Because we just keep adding these things that we perceive as valuable because it's more things. But think about a museum. Think about a world-class museum that people travel around the world to see, right? They are not going, oh, well, we can add this piece of art and this piece of art and this piece of art, and let's go to a garage sale and get more art because its perceived value will go up. Because it goes from being a museum, in this case, to being a freaking storage warehouse, right? So be very, very careful. It's not about Danielle. Thank you. It's not about, it actually, I was like, I need a shirt that matches my watch. So what happens when we start adding value is we actually start devaluing. We need to pare down. Danielle, for example, has been a member of the network, and that's something we're always working on. Is I disqualify about 90% of people that want to be private clients, not for no reason other than they just don't fit in our museum, right? And when you start becoming a storage warehouse instead of a curated museum, your value actually goes down. So in the context of business or life, the more you add things thinking you're adding value, the lower value you're actually the lower value of the whole, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you understand, like if you go to a great library, and I just saw the books behind me. If you go to a great library that is known to have all the great works of fiction and nonfiction, right? Seth, what's up? All these great works of fiction and nonfiction. It's not a matter of get more books on our shelves, because then again, you just become a secondhand bookstore, right? Which are awesome, but it's not that high value service that you're providing. So think about that as you're saying, how can I add more value? How can I add more value? A lot of times the way you add more value to your service or your product is pare it down, right? The museum, if you start adding more stuff, it becomes a storage warehouse. If you pare it down, it becomes an exclusive museum of only the finest art, right? And so you got to figure out, how do you want your business to look? Super, super common. And we struggle with this all the time, right? We have the vault where we just add value, add value, add value. And every now and then we have to stop and say, hey, look, this is more stuff. But isn't more valuable, or are we becoming just a freaking Walmart of stuff, right? So something to think about. When you want to add value, you want to attract the right clients and keep them, pare down. Okay, do not add more stuff. Curate better. Curate. Take things away. Okay, addition by subtraction, via negativa. Pare things down and curate better. If you absolutely need to add something back in, you always can. But exclusivity is far more valuable than not, right? And so the key is here, if you are a world-class service provider, not a commodity, you have to curate better. And if you do not curate better, you become the equivalent of a storage warehouse, where you could be a high-end, well sought after museum that people travel from all around the world to participate and be and see and just be close to the works of art, right? So think about that. This is one of the things we do with network members all the time, because they're so gifted. They can do this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing, and they can actually balance it all but they shouldn't. And so one of the things we do with our private clients, with our network clients, is we spend a lot of time paring down and curating. Okay. If you want to pare down, curate together, go to velocitycall.com. Just hit velocitycall.com, and I will we'll hop on the phone and I'll just show you how to identify, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. I actually have a full exercise on doing this, and I think I'll do a full video breaking down how to pare down and curate what you do so that it's of the highest value, and you don't start watering down your high-end museum. And if you are actually not a great service provider, then you want a storage, right? Your commodity, you actually want a big storage warehouse and you want to fill it up. If you're a great service provider, you want a museum. Okay, you want to curate better. Hopefully that's useful. Think about that as you're moving forward. You guys have a good day.